Nova Scotia boasts the fifth highest vaccine coverage in Canada. 58,000 people in the province have not yet received a single vaccine dose, though. Will these new policies push people to get immunized? Tim Houston is the Premier of Nova Scotia, and he's in Halifax. Premier Houston, thank you very much for coming back on the program. And I want to start with this expanded vaccine mandate. It includes MLAs in your provincial legislature. Now, I know that the three parties and independents who sit in that legislature agreed to this, but how important is it that politicians are subject to a vaccine mandate?
Hey, thanks. Happy to be back. It's really important. I mean, leadership always starts at the top. So we want to show the way. I mean, everybody is so tired of the pandemic and really wanting to get through it. The emotions are super high over the vaccine policy. But look, for the most part, people are happy about it. They know that increasing the vaccine rates are the path to getting past the pandemic. So leadership starts at the top. Our MLAs are all vaccinated and ready to get to work in the legislature next week. But certainly the vaccine policy across all, non-essential stuff, restaurants, bars, sporting events, concerts, and then mandated vaccines for certain employees. That is all coming into effect, and it's the right decision, and we're happy to have made it.
Any sense how many MLAs are not fully vaccinated right now in Nova Scotia?
No, to my understanding, they all are, but certainly everyone in our caucus is the PC caucus, and my understanding is that they all are. But we'll find out, I guess, next week if who's not there, because if you want to be in the legislature, you have to be vaccinated.
I ask you because there are legislatures across this province or this country where the policy you've implemented is not the policy. There are lots of MLAs and MPPs who have chosen not to be vaccinated or have not made clear whether they're vaccinated. Federally, in the Parliament, you don't need a vaccine passport. You don't need to show proof of vaccination in order to take your seat in the House of Commons. I'm wondering what it is that it says about Nova Scotia that you've taken this approach when so many others have not.
In some areas, look, there is exemptions. There's exemptions for medical reasons are few, but they do exist. But it's my understanding that we don't even have any of those exemptions here in Nova Scotia. But I think what it says is that Nova Scotia, we're proud of how we've done through the pandemic. Nova Scotians have respected public health instructions, stayed home when we needed to stay home, really followed public health. And I think that as we progress through here, and as I say, people are totally exhausted by the pandemic. I am. I know Nova Scotians are. Everyone all over the world is as well. But the way to get out of it is vaccination rates, improve vaccination rates, and just keeping the epidemiology under control. So I think when the elected officials say, "Look, this is important," we're stepping up. We're asking others to step up. But certainly, when you ask others to step up, you should be willing to do it yourself. So we in this province are certainly asking others to step up with the vaccine policy that we're implementing here. So look, if we're going to do it, we're going to say it, we should be willing to do it, and we are.
So, a big question right across this country is how do you get those who have chosen to this point not to be vaccinated, even as vaccine mandates have started to be announced and started to be implemented across this country? How do you then bring on side those who have made a choice not to be vaccinated to this point? You got about 58,000 or so Nova Scotians like that. Do you think this vaccine mandate is the thing that's going to close that gap?
For some, it will. Look, for some, it's just, they have the mindset, I never got around to it yet. I'm waiting a bit longer. Just didn't do it, but will do it. There's some of those people still exist. We're hoping that this kind of gives them a bit of encouragement. There are certainly some that are just not going to get vaccinated. And look, we all make a choice. We're making a choice to get vaccinated. We can make a choice to get not vaccinated. But what we're saying as a provincial government and really as a society is that your choice has ramifications. If you choose not to get vaccinated, your choice has ramifications. And that's what the government policy is saying. So there will be some that just choose not to get vaccinated. I've said to them, stop trying to convince me not to get vaccinated. Stop sending me YouTube videos. Stop pushing conspiracy theories to me. I trust our public health officials, and I've made a choice, and now we're just asking others to make a similar choice, or understand that if you are not willing to get vaccinated, your choice, and it is your free choice, has ramifications.
There are consequences for your action or inaction, essentially.
Absolutely. And look, we have a big push on education. We'll continue to try to make sure people are making an informed decision as they go through it. And that'll be part of the policy with certainly people in the employment in certain sectors. But look, it's time. It's just time. We need to get our vaccination rates up. It's safe, it's effective, and I encourage people to get vaccinated.
So demographically, when I look across the country, it is the younger age groups that are sort of overrepresented in terms of those who have chosen not to be unvaccinated. And that is also true in your province in Nova Scotia, 68% of people who are aged 18 to 29. How do you speak to that younger age group that may feel, for whatever reason, and it could be, I'm less likely to get sick, or I'm healthy, or this doesn't impact me? How do you change that mindset?
Yeah, I actually have two children in that age group, and they both made their decision to get vaccinated. But we did it through discussion. If not for yourself, if you're not worried about your own health, or you think, wow, I won't get it that bad, think about those around you that may be more vulnerable. Your grandparents, your expanded social circle. So that's the conversations that I've had, certainly with my children and people in their age group. It's just like, look, we're part of a team here. We're part of a team that's trying to get through a pandemic, and we all have a role to play in helping advance the greater good of society. So if not for yourself, if you're not really worried about yourself, get vaccinated for someone you love or someone in your social circle. That's the discussion that has to take place. And in my experience in sitting down and talking to people, when you really talk to them about it, they kind of get it. I mean, sometimes they may have some reservations, but they get it. They just need the opportunity to get it. And that means investing some time in talking to them in a respectful way.
There's quite a bit of difference between Nova Scotia and New Brunswick right now. I know we get focused on Saskatchewan and Alberta, which are nightmare scenarios in terms of the numbers that they're experiencing, the deaths they're experiencing, certainly the hospitalization and the impacts on the healthcare system there. But New Brunswick's sort of catching up, and not in a game you want to win, not in a game where you want to be in the lead. Are you concerned by what's happening in New Brunswick?
I'm concerned for my friends there. Look, what it tells you is that the variants are different. Their variants are contagious, and once they start to take hold, they can really take hold, right? So that's why in this province, I'm really following the lead of Premier McNeil and then Premier Rankin, and that my government is respecting public health, working closely with public health, and making sure that we make decisions that keep everyone safe. And they're hard decisions. Look, I know people are upset about the vaccine policy. I know people are upset, they have to get vaccinated to keep their job. These are tough things, but they're all in the interest of overall public safety. And I think the lesson to be learned from other jurisdictions who've all been well-meaning and trying to keep people safe. But I think the lesson to be learned is if those variants can get in and take a hold, it's going to be difficult to eradicate them. So in this province, in Nova Scotia, we focused on doing everything we can at least so that they don't take hold. And we'll continue to do that. And it's tough because people are tired of it. They are exhausted and they want their lives back. But the way to get our lives back is to follow public health and get our vaccination rates up.
Premier Houston, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I do appreciate it.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.